this is like fun with other, running friends. So I'm like, I'm going to do it because I knew it would put me in a good mood. You are my BRF.
What's happening, Eric?
There for your victory lap.
Yeah.
Whoa!
How did that happen?
How did you do that?
And all of a sudden I go to zip it up and I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now? 0 out of 10 on the recommendation scale.
I am literally crying from laughter and from so much love. Oh my God.
It's like icing off for your cornhole.
And he just smashed Arnie like that and said, you stay out of this, Arnie. And
But I don't run to stay sober. I get to run because I am.
And there she was, and halo over her head.
No, it's not very true. Okay.
And he steps to the side and just gestures. Here's the tinkle pot.
I don't need to tinkle.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 145 of the On the Runs podcast. It has been cold out this week. Erica's cats are still fighting, and she's messing up the group chats because of it. We have another amazing guest on today's episode from the Great World Race, and so much more to talk about. But first, let me say hello to my amazing rock star of a co-host, 6-star Erica. What's up? Happy Thursday or happy Friday Eve.
What's up?
We got to do that. We got to do that.
I'm so happy, by the way, that you get to be your normal, loud, exuberant self now that you're home. It's nice to not piss off any of your neighbors.
Yeah, well, I got to be that way in the conference room, just not in my own hotel room.
That's true.
Hey, what's going on with your cats? Why are they fighting?
God, it's pissing me off, and it also makes me very sad. So before the new year, Scooter was sick. He had like a UTI or something, and I guess when cats get sick, they release different pheromones, and Maisie's just a very territorial cat, and she's like smelled a different cat and is just going after him lately, and it sucks, and they won't stop, and it just makes me sad because Scooty was sick, and he doesn't deserve that. He's my buddy, so he's feeling better, but they still are not back to normal, the two of them. I don't know.
Well, speaking of Scooty, has a little bit to do with a new intro. So you've had 2 episodes now to listen to it, and it's fun because you actually, for the first time ever, we've listened to it while I hit record, and we're going to see how that works out. So we sit here awkwardly for a minute listening to it. Can you pinpoint a couple of those clips?
It's like icy hot for your cornhole. That one sticks out like a sore thumb. I love you, Aaron. You're so great.
well, one of them was Sherry Todd, and it's early. And she goes, Erica, what's going on? And that's when Scooter popped his butthole in front of the camera.
Scooter.
Scooter.
Scooter Spooter. That still comes up in one of our group chats. I got to thank Pterodactyl for coining that one.
That's right.
Oh,
and
my God.
What a transition. You led right into it. Group chats, Erica. Boy, you know what? I don't have to go through embarrassing you about how you messed up, but man, we're in so many group chats. Sometimes we forget who we're talking to.
Yeah, it's unmanageable, especially when it's like the Facebook Messenger and you have to click on each of the different things at the same time to switch between them. So, yeah, let's just say something got sent that wasn't supposed to be sent, but it wasn't like bad. It wasn't bad. But
you just sent a bunch of information to people who are like, what?
What the hell is this? Yeah. So it was really nothing, but it was just like, damn it. Now I got to send it again to a different group. And
maybe it's because you're nervous because you're waiting on some news today. I don't want to jinx it. You made me change my whole intro, but fingers crossed, knock on wood. Everyone just say a prayer for Erica today. Say, I pray that Erica gets everything she wants. And before the next episode, we'll know, because if she gets it, I'll be posting about it.
Yes. So we're just going to leave it very vague, and
fingers crossed. Say a good word.
And toes crossed.
Yep. If you're religious, do your thing.
Yep.
Go to church and get in front of those,
I need
candles.
the good juju.
That's right.
Good karma.
That's right.
Oh,
No
man.
bad juju. Just everyone positive vibes today.
I'll even
Positive
take Juju
vibes
bees. Those are
on
great too. Uh-huh.
yeah. Positive vibes on this Friday Eve. We have
Yes,
an
yes, yes, yes.
awesome episode. I'm so happy we're doing the Thursdays. And next Thursday is going to be episode 1 of the recap. But we have
Oh,
another
yes.
this was so much fun because we have Mary Morgan, and I'm not even going to tell you what you're going to find out. I feel like sometimes I spoil things too much in the intro. We're like, oh, we found out this and that.
Another
Like,
thing that we're going to leave very vague that you can find out shortly in the
we
episode.
figured something out that blew my mind. And I was
Which
like,
is hysterical.
so
So you'll
thrown
enjoy
off by it. And maybe I'll go back and I'll take like, I wonder if I got it in the pre-recording, like me realizing like, wait, what?
I hope so. I think you did because I was like, this is our blooper right here. Right here.
Yeah,
There's a blooper.
yeah. So we got a great guest. We got more to talk about, but I think we should get right to our amazing guest, Mary Morgan.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. She is another wonderful person that we met through the 777, the Great World Race. She was absolutely amazing. You
What a
may
joy.
remember may remember her from drinking all the beer.
Yeah,
So
that we
at
can
least a
say, like
couple.
everybody knows that
Yes.
we're not spoiling everything, but she, like Ben went on the mission to find her a beer in Antarctica, and then it became a thing.
Epic.
It
So great.
became a thing, and and I happened to catch it on the live stream, and I clipped it, and that's why I get to keep posting that, because I clipped it. Like, I did
Excellent.
really good on that first day clipping some things. I didn't do so good later because I was watching on my phone, but at work I could sit down on the computer, I had it on the screen, and I wasn't really probably working. I was so addicted to Ben's live stream. So that
Yep.
kudos to Ben for doing a fantastic job. And all these listen, all these 777 runners have been emailing me and reaching out. All these Boston Marathon fundraising runners have been emailing me and reaching out. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Maybe I need to hire an admin person. We should talk about TikTok after this. And I could have hired Tara Watt for that, but she got her job back as the TikTok girl. So, but let's get to it. Mary Morgan on the On the Runs podcast. Erica, you ready?
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
Guys, enjoy this, and we'll see you on the other side. Our next guest on the pod is another badass mom who just finished the Great World Race, running 7 marathons in 7 days and 7 continents. We fell in love with her when we saw her on the Twitch live stream for the first time in Antarctica when Ben was on a mission to find her a beer at the end of every race. She's coming to us from the Panhandle in Florida, and I just realized her first name is actually Mary Morgan. Mary Morgan, what's up, and welcome to the On the Runs podcast. That is a interesting and cool first name.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I absolutely love you both. And this is going to be fun. I'm so pumped, especially now that you know my name.
I'm just like, I'm still cracking up over the fact that really did throw him off. He's like, wait, it's not just Mary, it's Mary Morgan. I'm like, yeah, dude, come on. So welcome, Mary Morgan. We're so happy to have you.
Yes, and now I'm like, every time I talk to, I'm gonna have to be like, so Mary Morgan this, so Mary Morgan that. Like, you did throw me off. Can we talk about your name for a second? Like,
Sure.
is this a common theme? You have to explain your name, like you just had to explain it and dummy it down for me because I couldn't process it.
Yes. And as much as I love Ben, I don't think he ever got it because I was always Mary. But I'm like, but I'm Mary Morgan. Like, I'm
It's like
so
Ruth Ann. Like, there's two.
It's a Southern thing. It's a double name. It's a double name. It's a Southern thing, you know? Mary
Well, not only that, you know what the other cool part about your name is, Mary Morgan? It's that Mary spelled Merry, Mary, like Merry Christmas. And until I realized your first name wasn't Mary, it's Mary Morgan, I was like in love with the name Mary. I'm like, that's so cool that your parents gave you that Merry name. And now it's Mary Morgan.
I'm my grandmother. It's actually Mary Ann Morgan, but
so Mary Ann Morgan.
Mary Ann Morgan Holotik is actually my name.
But right.
His head's gonna explode if he has to call you that.
So,
well, anyways, how are you? We heard through the grapevine, through a few people, that maybe after the 7-7, you spent some times in the Bahamas and Miami, not Miami, Hawaii. Like, so who goes and runs 7 marathons around the world and then goes to Hawaii and the Bahamas within like a week?
Well, someone that needs a vacation.
Amen to that.
Relaxation. And actually, the funny thing is my parents were going to Hawaii and I wanted to go to Bahamas and I would needed a babysitter. So I was like, what if I just bring Bodhi to Hawaii and leave her there with y'all? And they were like, huh? Like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'll come for a couple days of Hawaii, stay with you guys. And then I'll just fly from Hawaii to Bahamas and leave the 4-year-old with you guys.
That's pretty
And
smart.
they said, okay, but I did bring help for them. So, and 2 of my other sisters were there too. So it was really fun. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
But that's how I ended up in Hawaii on my way to Bahamas.
What a trip. That sounds great. Definitely a way to, so this was post race, correct?
Post race. Yeah. So I
That-
left Hawaii the day after Thanksgiving.
What a
So,
way to treat yourself after that huge, huge feat that you pulled off.
yes. Well, Hawaii is like my happy place. So
Oh, excellent.
Well, there you go. We'll learn soon that Hawaii and Bahamas almost never happen as we get into the race. But one thing, Mary Morgan, is we want to get to know our guests. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. Are you a Florida born and raised, or tell us about Mary Morgan? Give us the bio.
yeah. Okay. So I am originally from Dallas, was born and raised there. After high school, I graduated, went to college in Texas, graduated. And the day I graduated college, I told my dad I actually want to go to nursing school. And he was like, well, you just graduated college. I'm like, I know, but I've decided now what I want to do with my life. So packed up, moved to California, where they had the only CNA program in the US, which is absolutely not true. I just wanted to move to San Diego, which is CNA is like a certified nursing assistant. It's like a certified, butt wiper. So I went to San Diego, had some fun there, and then went to nursing school in Hawaii, lived in Hawaii for 3 years, my happy place. And then moved back to upstate New York for a year, worked as a hematology oncology nurse there for a year, then moved back to Dallas, was a pediatric ICU nurse there for 12 years, but I commuted from Florida to Dallas for like 8 of those years. And now I live in Florida. So
How did you manage that commute?
it was really so I started doing like 6 days on and then having like 10 days off, and then I went to like 4 days off, and
Mhm.
by the end of it I was only working 2 days a month. So it was like, I would have like 2 days on and then the rest of the month off. So
Gotcha. That seems a little more reasonable, I guess, than actually having to drive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got like a 12-hour shift. I better leave now. And that would have been very stressful.
it was rough, but I really love the hospital I worked at Dallas Children's. Amazing hospital.
So what brought you to Florida where you are now?
So I came here. My parents have always had a place here. We
Mhm.
grew up coming here, and I came on an adult spring break with about 12 nurses and met my husband. And at the time, I did not even think about him as being my future husband. But then, I came back and bought a house here, and we started dating. I got married, have a baby. So we've been together for about 12, 13 years now.
Wonderful.
Nice. And you have a couple little ones, right?
So yes, I have a 4-year-old Bodie, and then I have 2 bonus babies who are 21 and 24. But they'll always
Bonus
be my
baby.
babies.
I love that. So Mary, let's Mary Morgan. Mary Morgan.
Yeah, get it right. Get it right, Erica.
I know. I'm going to do that just as much as him.
It's hard.
So Mary Morgan, let's get into your running background. What sparked your love for running, and what kind of drove you to take on this incredible challenge of the 777?
So I don't know that it sounds like I'm not really a runner. I've done a lot of things that involve running, but I'm like, don't run consistently, which I think, affected me in the 777, because in April 1st, I couldn't run a mile. So I started training around the second week of April. And but I like to do hard things, challenging things, so I really actually fell probably more in love with running training for this than I ever have. Just like I was getting up at 4 to be home by 7, by the time my daughter wakes up, and it was like quiet and peaceful, and I really loved that kind of solitude and clear my mind time. And it's so like peaceful here in the morning. So now all I want to do is run.
Sparked it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of been a little injured, and so I'm just going to kind of ease back into it.
Gotcha. So what put the 777 on your radar to begin with?
So I was wanting to climb the 7 summits. So I did Everest, Aconcagua, Kili, but
Whoa.
then I had a baby, and that kind of put a halt on that. So when this Instagram started like throwing the 777 at me, I was like, this
Damn
could be a
Instagram
way
ads.
where I don't have to leave her for so long, but get to do something really cool, travel, meet amazing people, like-minded people that
Mm-hmm.
like to do crazy fun things. And so I kind of like I prayed about it. And then one day I was reading my Bible and it was like, just imagine like things that people tell you that you absolutely can't do, but like you could do with God. And I was like, oh, 777. I'm doing it.
So hold
That
on.
is
I think we skimmed
fantastic.
over.
I was
You
just gonna
hiked
go there too.
Everest?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I summited
Can't let that
Everest
go.
in May of 2019 before I had Bodhi. Yes.
Not a big deal. Like, yeah, you kind of skimmed over it, but that's like a whole expedition in itself. That takes months of training and
Absolutely.
planning. That
Yep.
takes like weeks.
Acclimatization.
Isn't it weeks of like going
Mhm.
there and like getting used to it? This isn't like a quick fly over,
No.
hike the mountain and then come back down and you're home in a week. This is a process.
Yeah. I was there for 2 months, like 53 days on the mountain. No shower, no toilet, tent life. Living that tent life.
But an
Yep.
epic adventure,
It
to
was
say the
amazing.
very
It was
least.
awesome. And
And,
I
and
So cool.
and from what I know, when you go there, there's no guarantee you're going to get to summit, right?
no, and we had a crazy year. I don't know if you remembered, but it was that picture that everyone saw with all the people like jammed in that
Mhm.
line. And then the guy, I can't think of his name right now, made the documentary, but that was the year I was there, and I had the best Sherpa ever. His name just happened to be Karma, so that was awesome.
Perfect.
The Karma woke me up at like, I mean, you take like a little power nap at Camp 3 before you summit, and he was like, "Hey, Momo, we're going. It's time to go." Like, and I was like, "Right now? Like, we're doing this?" He's like, "Yeah, right now." So we climbed all through the night, and I was the second person that year to summit. It was just me and him up there for a little bit, and like on one of the busiest, craziest years of Everest, it was like I had 2 minutes on the summit by myself. So
How
That is
cool.
incredible.
yeah,
I have a total fascination about Everest, even though I am not a hiker. You won't catch me catch me anywhere near there, but I think it is like one of the ultimate adventures you can possibly take, besides the 777. But like that is just pinnacle.
it was amazing, really amazing.
Yeah, I'm not much of a winter hiker. I like hiking all the mountains here in the Northeast in the
You're a
summer when it's
skier though. You
warm
like the
in
winter.
in a t-shirt.
Me not so
But
much.
if there's one mountain I would hike in the winter, there'd be two. One is our home mountain, Mount Washington. I'll do it in the winter and ski down.
Uh-huh.
But the only other one on my list that I would consider if the opportunity came would be Everest. But I
You
don't
should
really know
do
I
it.
don't really know if I'm there yet. Like
I'm leaving it to you guys. You guys can have all that
She's
I'll
fun.
have
gonna
to
get
go to you for advice, Mary
this.
Morgan. Or wait, is it Momo?
It can be Momo, yes.
Your
We
Sherpa
might
called
go
you
with that one.
Momo. I
I
caught
know.
that.
A lot of people call me Momo though. But yeah, the difference between something like that and something like this is there's so much time commitment, you know. I mean, not so much in the training. I mean, a lot of people do train longer than I did. Obviously like to do things spur of the moment. So I trained for that in like 4 months, January, February, March. Yeah, maybe 3. Which is not recommended, but you're just gone for so long. But it's amazing. Like you meet again, you meet so many cool people. I was the only American in our group. I have since seen so many people. Well, there's 12 of us. I've since seen like 4 of them in Italy and then Amsterdam. Like we meet up, and it's kind of like what's going on with the Great World Race participants. Like these are people you like trauma bond with, and you're like, we are forever just in love with. It's like brother and sister, like family, you know. So it's the same kind of vibe, but you're with them for so much longer. You really get to know each other better because you're there for 2 months versus whatever 7 days, 10 days.
That is such a cool way to form a lasting friendship. You guys have something that very few people can say that they did. Like that is just super, super cool. So I'm glad it makes me really happy that you guys still meet up from time to time and in pretty interesting places too. So you get to get your travel fix in and see long lost friends, and that just sounds like an incredible time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You know, when we had Ben on the podcast, Ben was talking about the stats and the numbers of like the actual amount of people who visited Antarctica, and then even the smaller stat, like the people who visited Antarctica and ran a marathon. How many people in the world do you think there are that not only ran a marathon in Antarctica and not only ran a marathon in 777, but also hiked and summited Mount Everest? Like, that list has to
One.
be, I bet,
It's you. It's Mary
I bet
Morgan.
it could be
Oh,
one.
you know, I think Sean.
It can't be more than double digits. It can't
one
be
of
in
the
the double
guys
digits.
was one of the one lungers has summited Everest.
So cool.
No way.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
So
Blown away every time I get to talk
I bet
to
it's
you guys.
under 10 though. Like, I mean, maybe I'm totally off, but that number's still got to be extremely small.
yeah, probably.
If only 1% of the world has run a marathon, and then you take a tiny bit of that 1% who's done 777, it's got to be even smaller. Like, it's got to be 0.0000001 who have done the 777.
This is the stuff that's blowing my mind
And-
thinking about that.
Well, this and Mary Morgan are blowing my mind. The two things, like, my mind has been blown already. We're only 18 minutes into this. Holy cow!
I drank beer in
And
Everest.
she probably had a beer at the summit.
Not at the summit, but as soon as I got down.
That's so fun.
And wine. The Italians had all this amazing wine.
Another good
So,
reason
hey,
to be friends with the
guys
Thai.
on Everest, if you're going to climb Everest, make sure you have some Italians by you and some Russians by you because they have all the good stuff.
All right.
All
Gotta
the good
keep
stuff.
that in mind.
I know if and when it ever happens, I'm calling you. I'm
Yeah.
calling you.
You covered.
I'm going to get some prep. Maybe because you're spontaneous, you'll just come.
I'm in.
All right, cool.
I've already said it in my mind that Bodhi's going to be the youngest female to ever summit Everest.
How cool.
My husband doesn't know that dream of mine yet, but
Just
I'm
how
excited.
old is there like a minimum age to climb Mount Everest? Is like 16, 18, something like that.
it's
So
I'm sure someone young has probably done it, but she's only 4.5, so I feel
why
like
not get her on board? Start
Yeah.
training her early. She's got
she
12,
loves to hike. She loves to
14.
hike and run. Did you know she ran 5 miles with me in Miami? And
amazing.
I say run. I wasn't allowed to run in Miami. I wasn't even fast walking, but she did 5 miles with me.
That is incredible. Good for her.
That is cool.
Getting it done as a family.
I think she's going to be a track star, a little runner herself.
Well, she's
Well,
got
let's-
plenty of time to develop that, so let's roll with it.
Well, let's get to that. You said you're a spontaneous person. You don't plan things out super well in advance. How early in advance did you plan out the 777?
So I saw it like January, February, kept popping up, and I was like, oh, this looks so cool. I really want to do this, but like, I don't know. And then I found someone that had done, the kind of similar version before. And I just found her on Instagram, called her, and she was like, oh, it was the best experience. It was amazing. You should do it. And then I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. So then I set up a call with David, and he was like, oh, you'll be fine. I'm like, I haven't really been doing much. I'm raising a 4-year-old right now, but like I've done like an Ironman. I've done, these Everest. I've done like stuff like this. And he's like, no, you'll be fine. Like, I think you'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, this really sounds like something I could do. So then my first event I ever did was a Olympic distance triathlon with Team in Training, like 25 years ago. And the guy that was the coach then, he asked me to be a mentor for the next year. So I mentored the team the next year. And then when I did my first half Ironman, he coached me. And then when I did my full Ironmans, he coached me. And like, he is the most amazing human ever, because I will literally call and be like, hey, there's this Ironman I want to do in Nice, France. It's in like 4 months. Do you think I can be ready? And he's like, what? Oh my God. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, you'll finish.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be pretty, but you'll finish. So I call him and I'm like, hey, so I have this idea of this 777. It's like, when is it? And at that time we thought it was in October. And so this is April. And he's like, okay, but you have to like really do what I tell you. Like you can't, you have to like really do it.
Be
So I
a
was like,
stickler for the rules, follow the plan. Mhm.
yes, like actually get your runs in, do what I'm asking you to do. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And so then talked to my husband, our real estate company, like our group sponsored me to do the run. So that was it. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did.
Thank you, Instagram, for peppering Mary Morgan with all these with all the ads to plant the
Algorithm knows
seed.
me. It knows
I
me.
fall for that stuff all the time.
Did you ever actually go out to Nice, by the way?
I did. I finished that Ironman.
Was that a full? Was that your first full Ironman?
No, my first full was in Cairns, Australia.
What?
Yeah.
So cool.
You're talking to the resident Iron Man over here. He's the one he's been trying to get me to do that stuff. I just like to stick to running, but anytime he can talk Iron Man,
I love Iron Man. I miss doing Iron Man, but that's impossible to train for with a 4-year-old. I mean, there's just no world
Will
where
you tell Erica that she can do it? Like she can freaking do it.
Erica, do you see me? Do you see me? I did it. I've done 3.5 full Ironmans, 7 halves. Like you can do it.
That is amazing. I see a strong, powerful woman in front of me. I'm like, I just like to go on a treadmill and watch New Girl and
you can go on a Peloton bike and watch New Girl while you train.
Well, I do have one of those too. Someday. I can't commit, but I'm not totally throwing away the idea. So you guys can keep peppering me with compliments, and I'll think about it.
Erica has something called gamophobia when it comes to triathlon.
Sure, Eric, Captain Gamophobia over there. Gamophobia is the fear of commitment, by the way, which he has because he's got young children too, so he can never commit to signing up for any races. And
not in advance. Not in advance. No 777 for me anytime
just
soon.
have to be prepared to like do it. And that's what I learned. This is a good thing 7-7 taught me was like, I just need to be consistent in working out and training so that anytime someone calls and says, hey, do you want to go run 7 marathons, 7 continents in 7 days? I can be like, yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey,
always be ready.
Wonderful challenge. I'm in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, let's get to it. When did you arrive to Cape Town? Did you go early or were you like a day before? How were you prepared? When David said, hey, we're leaving tomorrow for Antarctica, did it throw you off?
Yeah. My mom came with me to Cape Town. We got there 2 days before. We had plans to like kind of do some sightseeing fun stuff the next day. I've been to Cape Town like 2 or 3 times. So I've kind of done like the Table Mountain and the wine and the penguins and all that. So I didn't go too early just because I didn't want to leave Bodhi for too long either. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I pictured myself bringing her there with me and going really early, and then her flying back with my parents and then meeting me in Miami. And then when I did the logistics on the flying and travel of that with a 4-year-old, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I just went quick. We got there. We went through that race briefing. I'm seeing like, Bex, Hillary, all these girls. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like where are like the normal people? Like these are all like Ashley, like Jenny, I met my sweet Jenny. Like, and I'm like, these are really serious athletes. Like, oh my God, I'm in over my head on this one. Like,
I would be intimidated too, like seeing the 3-hour marathoners and be like, I'm going to be like 4 hours behind them. Like, what do I do?
Well, I was a couple times.
There's no shame in that. But oh my gosh, I understand getting like I'm sure I would feel like the imposter syndrome being like, do I really, like, what am I actually doing here? This is such a crazy challenge, but I'm so happy you jumped on this challenge. So sorry to interrupt you. Just keep going.
No. But they were all nice, but I was just like with that race briefing, I'm like, I might be in over my head on this one. But yeah, when David threw out like we're going to Antarctica tomorrow, it was just like, okay, let's just get this thing going. More so I was thinking though, like, oh shoot, I have like 15 people coming to meet me in Miami. They all are gonna have to change their flights. That's what I was thinking. Whoops. Oh no. All these people that have booked, I'm sure everyone kind of thought that because I know a lot of people had a lot of people there at the end. So but
logistically, sounds like a little bit of a nightmare, but at least that's one Well, I guess if they would have done either the day before, I think it was 5 days later, so you at least wouldn't have to be away from your daughter for too long.
Right. Yes, that's true.
That's a plus side.
It was like I actually got to see her a day earlier. So
There you go.
There you go. So let's start race 1, Antarctica, day early. How was that experience? And we'll get to it, and I'm sure we're going to play the video again because we've played it many times on our Instagram. But when we were first introduced to Mary Morgan, tell us about Antarctica and how that happened.
yeah, so it was really good. I felt good. I had one way it's really cold and the other way it's warm, but I don't feel like that was really hurting or anything. It kind of like felt, but at the end, like you're running on wet sand, like as it got slushy and whatever. But it was still like so exciting. It was so beautiful, so gorgeous. Of course, like after the second loop, you're like, okay, I would like to maybe hurry this up because it is getting cold there. But yeah, it was awesome. So, but when I finished, everyone's like, "It's Mary Morgan! It's Mary Morgan! It's Mary! It's race or whatever. My number 14." And I was like, "What is going on? Like, are they holding the plane for me literally? Because like I didn't think I was the only one out there. Like, what is happening?" And then Ben's like, "Come here! You have to come here." And I hadn't really like talked to Ben yet, or we knew he was out there and what he was doing, but it wasn't like I had no clue what he was about to do. So I was a little bit scared and nervous. And then I'm sure you can see in my like body language and face. And then when he gave me that beer, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the greatest thing ever. I was so happy and it tasted so good. Like,
that's awesome.
Isn't this why people run marathons, to get a beer at the end?
I mean, it doesn't hurt. But who was it who told Ben about your tradition with the finish line beer?
I think it was my mom. That sounds like something my mom would do. And she, and there were a lot of my friends that were super supportive and like loving the Twitch. And Ben was so good at what he did. Like that was like his calling. I mean,
I think so too.
Live stream everything because whether he knew about running or any of us or not, he like made everyone feel like they were part of like the journey, So kudos to you, Ben. That was awesome. He was amazing. But yeah, it was a very exciting moment. And then I was literally in my head like, do I get to have this every race?
Right. It became a thing. It became such a cool thing. And before we get into like how that continued, how did it start? How did the tradition start where Mary Morgan always has a beer at the end of every race? I think there's a story.
There is. So the first Ironman I did in Australia, you do a couple laps and you're getting the bands or whatever. And there's these guys and they're drinking beer and they're every lap they're trying to give me one. And I'm like, look, guys, I only got one band here. Like I gotta keep going.
Ways to go.
So they're like, okay, we'll save you one for the end. And like, obviously they're drinking more as I'm still running. Yep. And then at the end they have like a huge beer for me. And so I run through my first Ironman with a beer. And then from then on came the tradition of drinking a beer after every race. So
I love it.
It was pretty awesome, like I just feel so special when someone gives me a beer.
Well, those were absolutely hard-earned beers because running in Antarctica, I mean, you were training in Florida, right? So you weren't used to any of that cold weather.
No, she hiked Everest.
Well, that's before, but like you still gotta get used to being cold. Like I live in New Hampshire. I'm still not used to being cold. It's the middle of the winter right now. I would rather not. I would rather run a marathon on a treadmill, which is like super like torture for some people, but I would rather do that than go out in like 20-degree weather.
Oh, I would too. I played golf today and I'm in the pants I wore in Antarctica. It's 53 degrees here. So
you and I are one and the same.
I mean, like my ski pants, my like Gore-Tex ski like pants. I don't really love cold.
But I bet they're warm. Mm-hmm.
But they were warm. Sure were.
So maybe I'll ask you about each beer you had at every race. But what was this beer you had in Antarctica? How was it? Was it cold? And was it weird having a wicked cold beer in a wicked cold area? Tell us about this beer and we'll get into every one.
Okay. No, this was a super amazing beer. The fact that he found a beer in Antarctica, and I guess they make it like somehow it's like a wolf Svang's beer. So it was cold. It was delicious. It was refreshing. And I don't know if y'all know, but each race I did like in memory or in honor of someone. And so it was really cool because I got to like, and cheers to like, who I was running for at that race. So that was really cool too. And just because I had no idea that that it was coming, it made it extra special, So I loved the fact that Ben did that for me. And my mom for,
Yeah, your reaction was super cool. Seeing your reaction, because when he first goes, so people have told us, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, like what have they told you?
Oh God. And then you got
Be
so
anything.
excited when you saw the beer. It was awesome. It was so cool. And what was cool for us was, I don't know if you went back and watched the stream, but this was like an hour of everyone saying, instead of asking for updates on Justin or Bex Gentry, it was, where's Mary Morgan? Where's Mary Morgan? And he's asking everyone where Mary Morgan is. We don't even know. All we know is you're in a red jacket.
Yeah.
And like maybe someone is coming up and it looks like it's red. No, oh, it's Mary. No, it's not Mary. And then finally you showed up, and I was watching live when this happened because that's how I was able to clip it. And it was so cool to see that, because we're following this journey for about an hour of Ben just has no clue what you look like. Any of that. No clue what your number is. Just asking, is this Mary Morgan? And you finally showed up. It was so exciting. It was thrilling to watch. It was like
The
the
live
whole
stream was
Twitch
fun.
was
A lot
binge-worthy
of fun.
content. And I don't know if you went back and saw that, but that
No,
was
I
like
don't
an hour of amazingness.
But yeah, that's super fun. And it was fun because some people did like have like, since y'all posted stuff and people have posted stuff or like Instagram, you were like, we were waiting for you. Like we were waiting for you. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm a back of the pack runner, okay? I'm a little slow.
Well, he said it was cool how like they got to end every live stream with a beer with Mary Morgan.
Yeah,
It was
awesome.
kind of cool. It was really cool. It was awesome. It was epic.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I only missed one beer, and that horrible.
Was that the one we're thinking of?
The horrible
Number 6?
No, I got a beer then.
Ooh.
I might not have drank it, but I got it. No, but they couldn't find a beer at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. whenever we finished in Istanbul the first night, and that was just like such a brutal night.
I remember watching that stream and hearing him like, where can we find a beer? But I think I might have fallen asleep at that point. So
Well, I was like, it's like 3 a.m. We could just go to the hotel and have one, but like the hotel bar's closed too. So
Yeah. Well, before we get there, before we go to Istanbul, we have to go back to Cape Town. And the last question about Antarctica, because we heard about it with Bex and everybody else. Did you use the tinkle pot?
Nope. I don't know what I didn't go to the bathroom at all. I don't know. Maybe that's why that beer was so refreshing.
Yeah.
It was so
needed
dehydrated.
some fluids. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No potty was used in Antarctica.
So you get back on the airplane. You just made your window. You had the most amazing weather, and as we heard before and after the race in Antarctica, it was like nasty. You get back to Cape Town. You get did you get an hour of sleep before you're running another marathon in like 95 degrees?
I mean, no, I think I just maybe like laid down for an hour, but after like packing everything up, getting everything ready, and then my mom was going to take a bag home for me of all the stuff I had in Antarctica, because that was like more than half my gear, right? So I was trying to get that ready for her, and I think at some point my husband called me and was like, hey, can you do this really quick for work? And I'm like, oh my God, I got to get up in like 2 hours and run.
Oh no.
And so like, I don't think I got much sleep, but I didn't feel bad the next morning, surprisingly, in Cape Town.
That's good news.
Yeah, I felt pretty good in Cape Town, but that's where I like I had hurt my Achilles and my knee like in training, maybe from overtraining, maybe just because I'm like who knows. When I hurt my Achilles, I ran a marathon and like for a training like run in where were we? Napa, and after I was playing on the playground with my daughter and just did something that like overextended it. And so then it kind of like, eventually it went away and hadn't really bothered me, but there was this like little weird turn in Cape Town that kind of was like on a slant, and whatever I did, the Achilles and the knee at the same time, like,
oh
and
no.
But every race I was like, okay, just run through this. You can deal with whatever pain comes tomorrow. Like just finish this one and we'll face tomorrow. Like it's fine. Just get through it.
So how the race went okay for you then? So, I don't know where I want to go with that one.
Yeah, Cape Town was good. And then
Good.
and actually it was really cool because that race I was running in memory of my uncle and godfather, and so I had like his koozie with me, and so Ben
Oh,
put my beer in his koozie, so that was
that's even more
extra
special.
special. Yeah, it was awesome.
Now,
Um,
did you know he was going to search for beers after every race at this point? Or were you like thinking, okay, I got
Starting to
lucky
see
in
a trend
Antarctica?
after the first and the
well,
second.
no, I didn't, and I don't know if my mom had it or maybe I had it with me, and I was like, when he had one before me, I was like, oh, can you? Because I brought it with me to have him with me. Like I had clearly when I was packing, I had no clue that I was be getting beers at the end of the race. So it was just kind of like I had something of like when I ran for my cousin in Antarctica, like I was wearing his cross, and when I was running for my uncle, I had this koozie with his picture and like a quote on it from him. So that's why I had it. But I don't know how if I just had it and been I can't remember. Everything is a little blurry from
Well, you
the
had like 1
little,
hour sleep
but
and you ran 2 marathons in that
At
span.
that point, yeah.
in a very short amount of time. Yeah. So, and then it was like, okay, because I wasn't staying at the same hotel as everyone. So David was like, okay, just go in the lobby. You'll find the guy that has the room that can get you in. I'm like, okay. And I get there and I'm like, there is no guy, there is no key. And finally, I just went to the front desk. I was like, I need a key to this room. And they're like, okay. And I was like,
Oh,
okay. So
I'm gonna
I
try
went
pulling
out.
that
Yeah, I'm
sometime.
like, all
I
right.
just need a key. Just give me a
Yeah.
key.
So they gave it to me. So I went up and showered, and then it was basically like turn and burn, like we got to go.
Wow.
So
The
in Texas,
nonstop thing. Jeez.
yeah, yeah, it was so fast, so fast. And then off to, I don't even, where did we go next?
Perth.
Actually,
You went to Perth next.
You
Yes.
jumped on that super awesome airplane, took
yeah.
a 16-hour flight to Perth. Did you get any sleep?
I think I did. I don't know. I sat down and Jenny Simpson was my seatmate, my
Oh, I was
room.
gonna ask,
Your
what a
roomie?
seatmate. How
Like
perfect.
he's absolutely amazing. Like, but I'm like, so like, how did you end up here? I don't know the running world, so I didn't like fully appreciate who I was sitting next to. Like, how did you get entered this and running? She's like, I retired after the New York City Marathon. David called me, 10 days ago. I didn't really know it was coming. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so you haven't trained for this at all. Like, you must be like superwoman. Then she's like, yeah, and like super humble, not brag at all. She was like, yeah, I won my Olympic gold medal here, and then this, and then this. And I was like the fastest in this, and I was like in the world. And I was like, oh,
No big
okay.
deal.
So like,
Jenny
oh my
Simpson,
God.
that's
I'm like, really glad she
We're
was.
not worthy.
I was, but she was so amazing, and literally like it was the best having her with me, and she was always so
Nice.
encouraging. Like when she would pass me running, and in Cartagena, she really helped me when I was struggling. Maybe gave me norovirus, but it's okay.
Oh
I,
no.
I think it was an accident.
Now she
You don't want to hear
won.
that part.
She won that race in Colombia.
Uh-huh.
So she
Sick.
stuck around to help you.
Yeah. So we had a hotel rooms to come shower in. And so she went back to the room. She showered. Well, then she was getting sick. So when I came in, they were like, oh, Jenny's really sick. But it was thinking like, oh, she's dehydrated. It was hot. Like, who knows,
Yeah.
whatever. So I took a shower, changed. Then I like laid down my feet in the air. And I don't know if you want to talk about all this right now, if we're trying to go like race by race, but
We're in it. Let's go.
okay, so then I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna die. And I was a nurse for an pediatric ICU nurse for like 12, 13 years. So I'm like, I know that something is really, really, really fucked up here, like wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It's like and so I'm just laying there, and like so all the women in the room, there are like 3 ladies in the room, and she comes over with Christina, and then Sean Warner's like the lady that does his videos, which I hate that I can't remember her name because she was super helpful, but again, blur. And I just start like, can't breathe, can't catch my breath. My stomach like starts completely distending. Like my heart is racing. I'm short of breath. I'm like, okay, I think y'all need to call a doctor, like, or maybe an ambulance. Like, actually, yeah, call an ambulance. And then like we couldn't find Killian, the doctor that was, supposed to be there with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then David came in, and he was like absolutely amazing. But literally, like, he's trying to like put Coke like under my tongue, and it's just like, dribbling out of my face, and I'm
Oh
like,
no.
really, I like, oh my god, it's happening. Like I just felt like I was gonna pass out. No one there has any like besides David, like no medical background, no medical supplies. There's no ambulance coming clearly, and then someone comes in, and everyone's talking around me, like I can hear it,
Mhm.
and it's not good. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
so
I
scary.
can hear y'all,
Oh
like, but I couldn't
no.
really talk myself. So I was just laying there like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And Jenny was so sweet. She's like scratching my head and like, you're okay. Like, think about Bodhi. You're strong. You know, just all this like encouragement. And it was like so helpful. But little did we know she actually had norovirus. So she's sitting there, just spreading
Oh,
norovirus to me.
Oh no.
So yeah, so after, well, we'll get to Miami, what happened after, but yeah, so there, eventually this guy comes in and is like, hey, you need to just get her in a cab. Like ambulances like aren't coming. And I'm like,
Yeah.
like as they're like trying to put like jelly and shit in my mouth. And I'm like, so I'm just like, oh my God, this is not happening. And so David's like, can you sit up? And like, the second I sat up, everything was like, already like, it was already spinning. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I cannot die in Colombia. Like, this is
so
not
what
how
started this?
I go down. I don't know if I was just super dehydrated from, the hot weather. Because, Bex and I started running that race together. We were doing, like, we had finished the one before, and we kind of like had this system of like run a minute, walk a minute, like, and it really worked great,
Mhm.
So we started doing that again. My dad pops up out of nowhere in Cartagena. Like, he's like, gets in front of me on the path, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, get out of my way. And then he's like, babe, it's me. And I was like, oh my God, daddy. Like, it was like so amazing. So then I have this extra adrenaline boost. And so, we're not sprinting. We're not like, breaking records, but like we were able to do our run and walk.
Mhm.
And then like halfway through, my dad had already left because he had to fly back to catch the flight to Miami. And I just like all of a sudden just like started feeling, oh, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I don't feel good. And so I started drinking, trying to drink more. I passed Gary Brecka. I'm like, do you have anything that will help me? Like, I feel like I'm gonna die. He gives me something. And then I think they brought me some like Tylenol Motrin kind of thing for my knee. But it just was like, I don't know. Who knows what happened? I don't know. But I just kept telling Bex, like, you have to go. Like, you have to finish. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. And she's like, I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. And I was like, I don't want you to not finish because of me. Like, but I think she was worried I was like going to go down, like pass out and be alone, And so I was like,
Yeah.
just find someone. And, she is like a first responder. Hard,
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to have her. We're talking about Bex with an X, the amazing woman who ran this whole entire 777 in a firefighter outfit,
Full gear,
uniform
like
with the
the
tank and
too,
everything.
right? Yep. Mhm.
Insane. She's insane and
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, I'm glad that she was with me because I'm like, if I do go down, she can take her tank off and put me on her back, and I'll be okay.
So
But yeah,
you went to the hospital. Did
Well,
that
so-
delay the airplane taking off?
I have no idea because we got in earlier to Miami than we were supposed to. So I don't know
Okay.
if it delayed it because of other like if it delayed the timeline of what things were supposed to be happening or it delayed the whole flight. I don't know.
I would just, if I was in your shoes, if it was me, I would be worried about missing the plane.
Oh, well, David was with me the whole time. He never left
Okay.
me.
Well, the plane can't go without David.
Was amazing. So he took me to the hospital. So we're in the wheelchair, and like there's people from the Great Wall Race in the lobby, and they're all looking at me, but like I can't talk or move. So I'm just like, and it's like weird state. And we get out, and I'm like, I have to pee. Like, I have to pee so bad. I have to pee. And David's like, get her a towel. And I'm like, a towel? Like, I have to pee. And he just puts a towel on me. He's like, just pee. And I'm like, what? Like, really? I couldn't move. So I was like, okay. Like, I'm peeing. And then I like look at him and I'm like, I'm still peeing. Like, oh my God. Like, this is so gross. And I'm in my like clean outfit too. I'd showered and everything.
Oh.
And this is like in the hotel lobby?
Like they're pushing me out of the lobby like to go outside. Yes. And I'm just like, so they get a towel and they're still pushing me and I'm just sitting out there and peeing my pants. So
Love it.
And then I like look down the street and I'm like, there is an ambulance right there. Like you can see like the red,
Yep.
the standard. I'm like, do you think maybe and I guess it had gone to the wrong place or couldn't get around? I don't know. But so they put me in the ambulance. David's with me. I guess he was in the front. And these two nurses, I swear to you, one of them was Instagramming, like, like,
Oh, no way.
like,
Got more important things over here, please.
like maybe some fluids. I don't know anything but nothing. Like y'all are doing literally nothing. I probably should have gone in the cab for what this is worth. Like literally, I'm like, not even maybe take a blood pressure. And David's like, take a blood pressure, put her pulse ox on. I'm like, yeah, someone do something. Like
You shouldn't have to tell them how to do
what
this.
to
Like,
do?
it's your job.
Yeah. So got to the hospital. They took my labs. I got fluids. Then I could actually go to the bathroom. And they're like, she has to go to the bathroom. So David's like carrying me, and he's like, now what? And I'm like, you got to help me with the bathroom, bro. Like, I don't care at this point. Like anything goes. Like, so the first time, like they're just, because I think they thought he was like, I'm not her husband. And, like, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, please just help me. Just help.
I'm sure David has seen some things. So
yeah, right.
it's probably nothing.
Like, I just need help. So,
you know what's really impressive is we've heard a lot about David. We'll get him on closer to next year's 777, but this guy's everywhere. It's like he talks to everybody. He's all. How can you be in so many places at once? And he's with you this entire time, Mary Morgan. When you also hear he's with Bex and Jenny or Ashley or Justin, he's with everybody all the time, and he stuck with you that entire time. Went to the hospital. This is so impressive.
Race director extraordinaire. That's what he is.
He really was. I was like, the doctor came in after my second set of labs and was like, yeah, she's going into mild rhabdo, which I'm sure if you took anyone's labs, they probably would be. I don't know. I don't really know. But he was like, she needs to stay here overnight. And then, we'll redraw the labs in the morning. And I looked at David and I was like, do not leave me here. Like, I'm not going to be here by myself to die in Cartagena alone. Please.
Oh, no.
And he's like, no, we're not leaving her. Just leave the IV in her hand and we'll give her fluids on the plane. So they leave the IV in my hand. I'm sitting in my pee pants and try to get out with the blanket. They're like, no blanket. I have no shoes on. And I'm like shivering. And David's like, do you want my jacket? And I was like, yes, please. He's like, it's kind of stinky. I'm like, well, did you pee on it? Because that's like kind of how I'm measuring the clothes I'm wearing right now. Because if you haven't peed on it, it's better off than everything else I'm wearing. So he gives me his jacket. We go straight to the airport. No shoes, IV in hand, pee pants, and David's jacket.
So how did you talk the doctors in the hospital into like letting you leave and not spending the night?
I checked myself out AMA. I do know that, but I don't know how we talked them into letting me leave with an IV in my hand. But
they're probably just like, whatever. We need the bed. I don't know. That's so
it was
scary,
wild.
though.
It was wild. And like David's like talking to me. He's like, are you disappointed? Like, how are you feeling? Like, if you can't raise? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go there. Like, I'm sure it's fine. He's like, yeah, I've seen this before. It's totally fine. Like, it's probably just dehydration. And then the guy's like mild rhabdo. And I'm like,
that's kind of important.
No one wants to have rhabdo.
That's a crazy story. Crazy story. We'll get to Miami soon, but let's go back to Bex with an X. You and Bex developed this bond and friendship, and you did the 1 minute on, 1 minute off together. You finished a couple races together. Tell us about how you met Bex and the times you ran with her.
Okay, yeah. So a couple of us followed each other on, like Facebook, social media before. And so I'd like seen her. Then we met like at the race briefing briefly. And just, I'm like, she seems badass, whatever. And for Cape Town or no, Antarctica, I feel like we were kind of started together. And then I think I just kind of went ahead and did my own thing in Antarctica. Then Cape Town, she finished right after me. Our bags were like all in the same place because she also didn't stay at the same hotel or something. I don't know how we were all in the same, or our stuff was together, me and Bex. So then we were talking after Cape Town. And then in Australia, we kind of chatted a little bit more. In Australia, after I'd gone hurt, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of do this run walk thing because I've got 4 more of these to go and I'm really hurting right now. So it was super frustrating, but I was like, there's nothing I can do to change this, that I'm hurt right now. But what I can do is like have a happy heart, like smile, like cheer the other people on, and just enjoy this like experience. So Australia, I think I was really like running 30, 45 seconds and walking a minute. Like it was not even like 1 and 1, but it was like probably my favorite race. I was so happy. Like it was just like calm
It
and
looked beautiful too.
I was like, it was so gorgeous. The sun setting, like everything was amazing. So, whatever. Anyway, so then the next day, Bex was like, hey, I think maybe we should try that, because we kind of are like always like going around the same pace, So I was like, yeah, let's do that. And, oh no, then we went to Istanbul and that was like the horrific night. I mean, we ran together for a second there, but my knee really hurt that night. I did like, took some prednisone and like, I think that was what like there was a point where I was like, when like a baby giraffe or like a horse is born and their knees are like, whoop,
Yeah.
like
No.
I felt like I could run through the Achilles pain, like just because I can run through pain. But this was like my knee's gonna give out, and then I'm like super screwed, right? So that sucked. But then the next Istanbul is when me and Bex ran together, and we had like no sleep that night, and got up, and that was Bex's PR that next race, and like we didn't sleep, and we just kind of did that thing, and it was so amazing running with her. That race, like she wasn't like all about my chatty cheery yet, I don't think, the whole race. But I think it grew on her, She's like, it was like this love hate with my so. But
it's fun when people like to talk during runs because it does take your mind off of things, especially if you're in pain and you're hurting. So like I love to have conversations.
That's why she runs with me.
Yeah, exactly. So in your case though, Eric, you like to talk and I just listen and I say, so it still is something to focus on, get your mind off the pain, and just some company is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys got to share that together.
And she had a friend, another firefighter, that was doing the same thing back home. But
wow.
She was doing 7 marathons, just in 7 different, like, I don't know if they're counties, cities, whatever, where they're from. And so we would like FaceTime and check in on her. And like, it was so cool. Cause then I was like, oh, I'm part of her too. Like,
oh, cool.
So it was really cool. Yeah. And Bex is just like pretty awesome. Like she's just amazing human.
We can't wait to talk to her. We can't wait. Like the whole thing was so, I think it was cool for us because originally before this started, we knew Bex, Ashley, and Justin. They've all been on the part of our pod fam. So, by the way, Mary Morgan, welcome to the pod fam. But I think this whole Twitch live stream, it was so binge worthy, and it
kept us so engaged.
And it wasn't just like it wasn't a stationary camera, right? Ben is talking to everybody, and that's why we thought these people, you and Bex, and so many, were so cool and interesting because we learned about you all throughout this whole entire process. And that was just like, that was a home run, slam dunk, hat trick, whatever you want to call it. That was so cool. And like, we're learning about Bex, and we're learning about you and all these interesting people. And that's why we're so interested in all of you to talk to you and get you on the pod and hear these stories.
Yeah, like everybody has their different reasons for running, their different experiences during the races. Like, there's just so much to learn about it, and we know I'm so engaged.
Yeah, and we know these behind the scenes stories that we didn't get to see on the stream, like you peeing your pants in the hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You probably would have killed Ben if he got that on the live stream.
I'm pretty sure I did announce at the end of Cartagena that Bex did have to hold me up while I was like pooping my pants. Literally. And then I was like, give me a leaf. I'm like, that leaf isn't big enough. I need a bigger leaf. More leaf. And she's holding me. Like,
that's how you know you found a best running friend, is when they will hold you up while you're trying to shit.
Yes. I am literally like peeing out my butt. She's holding me up. So I'm like, thank you.
You created these friendships and bonds. I'm sure they're still going on today, right? Like this was summer camp to us. We thought it was like summer camp, where now you're just probably talking every day. We had someone else on from the 777 recently, and her phone, just like yours recently, is just going ding, ding, ding. She goes, actually, it's one of her group chats from the 777. Like, have you kept in touch with Bex with an X and all these other runners from the 777?
Yes, and I saw Jenny like 2 days ago. So
What?
it was
Is she
amazing.
on her
I think
American
she's
tour
in
right
Florida
now?
right now.
Yeah, so she came here first before she actually officially kicked it off and started it. And so we got to spend the day together, and her and her husband and Bodie. And it was like, it literally, like when I hugged her, I was like, oh my God, it was like hugging my sister or something, like seeing a long lost, like bestie and it was so good. We had such a great day together. Like we did lunch, we went to the beach, I saw her a camper,
I
got to see
love it.
their new house, and hear about everything they're doing. So it was awesome. And then me and Kim are trying to plan a trip, and
Yes.
it's awesome. Like
You should
I
all come to New Hampshire. And I only say that because it's harder for me to travel. I think you're the traveler. Come to New Hampshire.
We'll find something cool for you
Let's
to do
go
up
for a
here.
run. You want to run up a mountain? We have a big mountain race up here. Yeah, Mount Washington. It's on the auto road, so it's not like a trail thing. It's called the Mount Washington Auto Road Race. Like, come up and do that with us, and then maybe Erica will do it too. I keep trying to talk her into it.
Wait, I'm not doing it unless Erica does it. Erica, you in?
I will do it if the group does it. That is my caveat. I'm not doing it
7.6
on my own.
miles, over
with
4,000
friends.
feet
You
of
got
vert.
it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. The
You
weather
can
up
sign
there
me
is
up right
crazy.
now. I'll do it.
Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. I might have to run a minute, walk a minute.
Let's just do
I'm not
no
running.
hospital visits.
No,
Yes,
more
let's-
hospitals.
No
Or
more
no-
hospital
no
visits.
more,
But
no more.
this road race, it's like, what's the maximum grade? Like 22%. I'm not running
22%.
up that, Mary Morgan. No way. So this is going to be a nice leisurely walk, very slow walk up this mountain. So
I think
Quick
it sounds
walk. Quick
great.
walk.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
yes.
So we've teased it a couple times. Let's go to Miami. You didn't run this race, but you were determined to finish this race. And you finished the race for the entire 777, the entire Great World Race, for the live stream. We're all watching, all waiting for you to cross the finish line. Ben has his beer. Tell us about Miami.
Oh, so I land in Miami, and my dad picks me up at 4 a.m. and goes straight to the hospital. They redraw
Back to
my
the
labs.
hospital.
They'd redraw my labs to see if my
Oh.
CK was going down. My rhabdo was not getting worse.
Gotcha.
So, as luck would have it, the ER doc at the time happened to have done some Ironman stuff before and knew the importance of finishing. So
Yes.
I was like, if I don't, I mean, I would have been, so disappointed to make it that far and not even have the chance to just like do it.
Mhm.
And my thing always is like, I'm going to finish or I'm going to die trying, like literally. I mean, anything I start is like, I will finish this. Like, that's
Yes.
just like my heart, like Everest and Ironman, any of it. It's like, unless I'm dying, I'm finishing.
Literally.
Literally.
You were close, Mary Morgan. Oh,
So
God.
I was very close. So the doctor's like, okay, green light, do not run. Like, you need to walk this, but you can walk it and finish it. And now I don't know that I could have run, even if I had wanted to. I was so
But
swollen.
doctor's orders, though, so you'll never know.
Doctor says I need to go very slowly.
Yes.
So I start the race like an hour late. They've already started. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, like Mary Morgan's out here. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, we didn't think you were coming back. I'm like, well, here I am. So
Can't
I
get
had
rid of me that easily.
yeah, so I had a lot of people there with me. My whole family was there. My husband, my parents, my daughter, my bonus babies, so many of my friends from Texas, Florida, all came out, and so everyone was just kind of doing a loop with me because they were short. They were like what is it, 2.1 miles or something? I don't remember, but
which I loved, by the way. I like that all these were short because we saw you more in the stream.
see more, yeah. But yeah, so everyone just kind of did one with me, and my dad's like, okay, we got to pick up the pace. We're gonna be here all day. And I'm like, okay. And then at one point I have no shoes on. At one point
Did you have a time limit?
Huh?
Was there a time limit?
Was like 16 hours. It was crazy. The time limits were there for every other race because of a flight.
Right. Oh, so this was it.
The 777 is whatever. What's 24 times 7? How many hours is that? I don't know, but
A lot.
so you have to finish the 7th marathon within that time limit, not a time limit per race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Got me? You got me?
Yes.
So
100%.
I was really trying to just stick with like, let's get this done in under 8 hours because like I haven't slept. I've been from hospital to hospital. I I hadn't showered since I peed my pants either. So I'm still like in my pee pants, I'm like, we've got to get this done. Let's knock this out. But I really couldn't move that much faster than I was going. It was just like a leisurely stroll. So finally, I didn't also realize that people were waiting for me. You know, like I just like I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that in the moment. And I mean, like I went to go to the bathroom. I was like going at the park with Bodie. I'm giving everyone hugs as they finish, and I should have just been like, okay, let's.
Mhm.
But I was like taking it all in. You know, I'm like, whatever. So
Well, that was the best race to take it all in
Yeah.
during because you
Yes.
had the time and everybody like it's such a celebration. You were all in it to finish and just I mean, I would have done the same thing.
yeah. So at I finish and then that was I don't know, it was like everyone was there with me, so it was
Well, who's everybody? Because we're watching a live stream. There was a big crowd in Miami, and there was a lot of runners who ran this much faster than you because you were walking the whole thing. Did
Right.
they come back to the finish line? Were you officially the last finisher? And what was that reception like when you crossed the finish line?
I think I was definitely the last finisher, but it was more like Ben and his crew, his hot girlfriend, and then my family, and then you know, like Greg had finished and his crew was there. But it was more like just I had like 15 people there, so it felt like
That's a great crew.
a huge like party. And I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had booked a hotel like through the weekend. Like I was in a party in Miami with all my friends. Like, no,
You're
not
going to
so.
sleep for like 45 hours straight.
Yeah, no. And what happened was I went to dinner. I finally showered. We went to like,
Congratulations.
thank you. I mean, I don't shower often, but when I pee my pants,
When I pee my pants, I run a marathon and then I shower.
and then I shower. Yes. So, but yeah, I went to dinner. Well, we went to like, they had like this little after party with all the runners and people came. So I went, said hi, and then went to dinner with all my friends and family. And like midway through dinner, I'm like, I feel like horrible. And like, you know, I'm drinking champagne, wine, whatever. Like I mean, probably should have had more water, but I mean, not that much, you know, but I just don't feel good. So we go back to the hotel and I end up getting my own room with one of my best girlfriends my friend that's been friends with me since like 6th grade. And I get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, like I do not feel good. I go to the bathroom and it's just like Niagara Falls.
Oh,
And then
no.
like,
So this is the norovirus
This is the
kicking its head,
norovirus.
right? Okay.
So now I'm like exhausted, swollen, puking, shitting, like all at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God, I've really done it this time. Like, what did I do? And so this whole time I've thought it was like, was it because I was dehydrated and sick and whatever? Or was it like something that, because, you know, other people had been getting sick along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was probably like, who knows? And then when I saw Jenny, she was like, oh no, I got really sick. Then my husband got really sick. And I'm like, oh, I too got really sick. So, you know, it was just kind of like that gift that everyone was giving to everyone.
That's the gift that nobody wants.
Nobody wants, but everyone got. Yeah, I feel like Justin, like some of his crew, he had a big group with him. I feel like some of them got sick also. So,
God.
yeah.
The only bright side is you didn't have another marathon to run.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to know how Jenny did Miami. Like, I like feeling like that way because it was brutal. I mean, it was short lived. It was like, you know, like a 24-hour kind of thing. But like,
that's enough though. That's too much.
Not any of them ran like that because it was not a good feeling.
Probably doing the same thing as you. Be like, somebody hold me while I poop in a bush. I need that.
Bigger leaf. I need a bigger leaf.
Bigger leaf.
Bigger leaf.
Mary, what a cool story. Mary Morgan, excuse me. What a cool story. And then you went and you recovered for a couple of weeks in Hawaii and the Bahamas. Like you know how to do it. You know how to recover. You know how to have a good time. Do some wild, crazy adventures. So cool. You hiked Mount Everest. What were the other 7 mountains? You said you did the 7 like major mountains.
I want to do the 7 ones. I've done Everest, Aconcagua, and Kilimanjaro. So I have 4 left, but I put that on hold.
Mount Washington, New Hampshire's on that list, isn't it?
I'm ready.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is
Home of
now
the world's wildest weather, by the way.
well, it is
We
now
got
on
that
my
going.
list. It's now on my list. I'm
All
coming.
right.
New Hampshire
June,
here.
Father's Day weekend, I think. We'll see. One of these years, come up here and do it with
You
us.
name it, I'll do it. I swear.
Yes.
You
If
got
you're
me.
Yes.
gonna
Well,
do it,
wait.
I will do it. Hey,
What
this is
about a triathlon, Erica?
you said it.
Mount Washington. I will baby steps, man, baby steps.
All right. All right. But when we get here's what we should do. When we get you to finally do a sprint triathlon, we're going to skip the Olympic and then do a half Ironman. We'll get
Deal.
married to do the half with you.
I'll do that. I can do that. I can train
Jesus.
for a half with a 4-year-old.
Yes.
Y'all are gonna kill me.
Amazing. Mary, what a story. Mary Morgan, what a story. What a story. We have a couple big questions. I don't know how long you've been listening. You say you love us like because we just kind of met. I don't think you knew us before that, but we end every guest segment with some major questions. I'm going to let Erica go first for a change here and ask Mary one of maybe the
Mary
hardest question you're going to get
Morgan.
of this episode.
Oh, no.
All right, Mary Morgan, we got this one shouldn't be too hard, but I'm not sure if you like to listen to music while you run. But we have a Spotify playlist and we like to invite our guests to add a song to it. So is there something that you would like to add? It could be anything that you're feeling at the moment, something that pumps you up, anything at all. Just go ahead and name something.
Oh, let's see. I mean, oh, that's a hard one. There's so many good ones.
Told you. One
It can be a
song. Don't
difficult
make it a
song.
bad one.
One
Oh,
song.
God, no
Don't
pressure.
make it a bad one. The live version of Holotik, Run Boy Run.
Ooh.
Who sings that?
Holotik.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Holotik. I think that's how you say it. But it has to be the live version.
I've
And then
underlined
when
live. I will
because
find it.
then- yes, you gotta get the live. Like, or I can send you the YouTube link because when the kids start singing, it's like so good, and then like it picks up. Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
You're gonna-
send the YouTube link. I want to see this.
It's like so long.
Put it in the
So-
show notes too.
It's really loud. It's really good.
All right, Mary. Well, it's time for my big final question of every episode for 2025. I change it up every year. I'm not boring like Erica. I am imagining On the Runs is having this huge pasta dinner, and we're inviting every guest from 2025 to come at the end of the year for this big pasta dinner, holiday party, whatever we want to call it. And every guest gets to bring a plus one. It can be anyone you can think of in the world, alive or dead. Could be a running partner, doesn't have to be a running partner. We had someone already pick an F1 driver. Who are you bringing as your plus one to our big On the Runs pasta dinner?
Jesus, that's easy. My man. Jesus, Jesus, the big man upstairs. Jesus. It's my man. He has
What
to be my
a pick.
Excellent choice.
That's a great choice. I never thought someone would say that. Great choice. I'm blown away by some of these choices.
He's gotta come
See,
with me.
when you don't limit somebody to just being like
You said
alive,
it was dead.
the possibilities are endless.
Oh,
I agree. There's so many options when you say alive or dead. Like you could really think of some cool people and some cool things. Like maybe someone you always would have loved to have sat down and had dinner with, but they're from like centuries ago. And in your case, 2025 years ago. I love it. I love it, Mary Morgan. You're the best.
well, you guys are awesome. That was so fun. Thank you for having me.
It was really our pleasure, and I'm so glad that you are okay. that
alive.
like, brief stint in the hospital in Cartagena didn't take you out of the race because we wanted everybody to succeed. We just wanted to see everybody with smiles on their faces and 1,000 medals around their necks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, what's next? What's next for Mary Morgan?
I don't know. You know, what I really want to do is the New Zealand Ironman. It's like been on my bucket list forever, but I think I have to put it off a little bit longer until she gets a little bit older. So because she doesn't nap anymore and she's always with me. But so I don't know. Maybe 777 2025. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what Instagram throws at you next, and if there's anything cool, keep us posted.
Well, next time you do something big and cool like Ironman New Zealand, or if you do 777 again, let us know. We would love to hear about it. We're really expanding what we're doing here on the Runs this year, and we'd love to have you, whether it's on another episode or we bring you on the recap with Tara and Lindsay. Like, this would be great. You're the best. We're so in love with you and this whole Get Mary a beer. Get Mary Morgan a beer. We're so in love with it, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And I'm so happy we're besties now, the three of
Yes.
us.
Yes. I can't wait to come and run a mountains with you guys. It's gonna happen.
Yes,
I'll do it.
yes.
I'll
That's
do
the
it.
only way I'm doing it, Mary Morgan. Is
Yeah,
if,
I got your
if
number
you're with me.
down, so y'all are on speed dial for when I need a New Hampshire trip. We're gonna do it.
Absolutely. You have us. I have a spare bedroom. I only offer it to a few people, so you're one of the special few.
Yep, and it has nice lights on the ceiling and lots of running posters.
I like it. It's festive.
Yes.
Very
Ambiance.
Well, I can't wait. If you're ever in the New England area, we're only like 45 minutes north of Boston. When you're here, give us a call. At the very least, we'll go for a run, and it won't end in a hospital.
Well, and with the
Deal?
beers.
We can do
We might
intervals.
pee our
I love
pants, but it won't end in a hospital.
Yeah. I mean, like, pee and poop my pants, like, that's standard. It has nothing to do with doing.
We're used to that over here.
Standard.
No shame.
Well, that was great. Guys, I'm so happy we finally got her on. Now that I know her real name, it's Mary Morgan. Not Mary, just Mary Morgan. So cool, a blast. I really hope you enjoyed that. Mary Morgan on the On the Runs podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Mary Morgan, we love you so much. And it's Mary Morgan, not Mary. Mary Morgan.
Her first name
we'll
is
never
Mary
forget
Morgan.
it now. We'll never
Yeah.
forget it now.
Crazy.
We have to thank you so much for sharing all those excellent stories with us. We just think you're amazing. And I mean, you just blew my mind with the fact that you climbed Mount Everest too.
Right.
Just
Right.
you were
Terrible
amazing.
job
You
on
were
my
so
homework.
awesome. You are so awesome.
Sometimes it's more fun when you learn something like that and you don't know it's coming. Like,
Well, that's usually me, because you do all the research and I'm like, oh no way. I'm like glued to the microphone and the camera, and my eyes just like light up with awe and wonder.
Yeah. Oh, she was awesome. Thank you so much, Mary Morgan.
Awesome.
I can't think of it right now what her actual last name was, so I'm not gonna say it, but I'll have it. I think though on the as I'll do the show artwork, like I think it's just gonna be Mary Morgan. I don't want to give it away. I don't know. We'll see. But man, fantastic.
She's got a very unique name, so everyone will know it's her.
And she's gonna come up here. She goes, now I got to come up to New Hampshire. I have a reason.
I hope she does. Yeah, Mount Washington Road Race we were talking about, right?
That's right. You know what else is cool? I actually had a DM today with Jenny and her husband Jason. I don't actually know who I talked to.
No shit, you
Well,
didn't.
Yes, I did, because I shot them a DM because on their Run Through USA Instagram channel, and I just said, "Hey, when are you coming to New Hampshire? Do you know?" And it's going to be in the fall. So I said, "Hey,
perfect.
open invitation."
Oh, I hope
you
I'm
know.
there. I really hope I'm around.
Yeah, I would
Fall
love
is
to
a
do like.
busy race season, but oh my god, I'd love to catch a run with Jenny and Jason.
Imagine having them on your porch for an in-person pod.
Yes, I will buy special chairs for them. You want a cushy padded chair? You got it. Actually, I already have one, so I'll just bring it up from the basement. But we'll hook them up. How
Well,
fun would
Jenny
that
and
be?
Jason, we would love to have you when you're here. Fall is beautiful. First week of October is usually peak foliage.
Yep.
We would love to have you.
Primo.
We'll treat you. Erica will buy chairs, as you said. We'll get food, whatever you want.
We'll make you comfortable. Don't you worry.
Erica will hide the cats if they're still fighting.
I hope not. By that point, that's a long time from now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, so I know you're big into social media. Have you been following this whole TikTok craziness?
This is the dumbest shit. I'm sorry. All right. So I get TikTok. It's fine. If you were into TikTok, good for you. I just never got into it. Blame my elder millennialness. But the whole stupid, this is getting into politics a little bit, but I just hate how they were like, oh, we're shutting it down. And then like 10 minutes later, they're like, it's back again for reasons you know. And I'm just very mad.
I wish it was
ploy.
back. I wish it was back, like, not back, but I wish it was like a longer break.
It's a stupid ploy. It's just a publicity stunt.
So Ashley
sticking
works
to that.
with So Ashley works with these girls who are very young, and they were at 10:30. They were hysterically crying apparently at work, like, my life is over.
Oh jeez.
And they're like, I thought I had another 90 minutes because it closed down at 10:30, and they thought they had till midnight, and they were heartbroken.
I do feel bad. Like, I understand. It's like it's a social channel and you feel connected to it and connected to the people you follow and I totally understand that. I just never got into it, but I mean,
Well,
you take away Instagram and Facebook and I'd
right.
be the same way.
I don't think it should go away. I think it should have stayed.
Yes, but
Sure,
it's
sure.
just the
Sell it to somebody else. I don't care what happens
reasons.
there. Regulate it if it has to be regulated. However, that's not for
Mhm.
me to make. I'm not a TikTok expert. I am not Coach Watt, Tara Pterodactyl. She is
She got her job back.
so lucky and fortunate she got her job back. Was unemployed for a little bit. Unfortunately, her benefits don't just renew like that. It's
Oh, they
another
don't?
90 days, so she's
Oh,
without benefits for a
bummer.
while. Guys, I'm joking. There's no
Nerd.
benefits, so don't be like DMing me like, give her benefits, her health insurance,
I don't get
her
benefits or health insurance.
PTO. So she's back in a job.
Uh,
She's got her job back, which I probably need someone to help me with some admin work because guys, you are kicking butt sending me those emails to get on that Boston fundraising show. We'll give it until next week, and next week we'll schedule it all with everybody. So
I
if
love
you
it.
haven't yet, shoot me an email or something. We'll get you on for a quick 15-minute hit. We'll highlight you, your training, your fundraising efforts, and get excited for the Boston Marathon coming up in only it's like 87 days. I think it's in
I think
87 days.
as of
As
the
drop
Monday, it was like 90 days or something like that. So it is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up
Boston
fast,
Week's my
guys.
favorite favorite of the year.
I hope training's going well in this cold weather. We've been in like the teens all week. It's going to actually today and tomorrow and the weekend it's going to warm up. We're going to be like in the 20s, so enjoy the heat wave.
Heat wave. Good God, I hate cold. I need to go live with Mary Morgan in Florida. Mary Morgan, do you have an extra room?
You know, Erica will give you
got
her spare
backyard
bedroom
space?
when you're up there, so she'll return the favor. Well,
I'm like, I'll sleep in her
hopefully,
backyard.
hopefully it is warmer on March 1st and 2nd. I will be in warm Cancun, but you will be at the Boston Run Show.
I sure will. And yes, I also hope that it'll be warmer.
Not only that, but Kelly Roberts will be there, our guest from the other day. We have a future guest coming on the pod, 2 future guests coming on the pod, actually, who will be at the Boston Run Show, March 1st and 2nd. New venue, Boston Convention and Exhibition Center in the Seaport. Get your tickets. Don't forget to use the code on the runs, and please use it because that helps everything, and maybe that will really help us get a booth there next year.
We're hoping for it.
Yeah, don't forget your homework assignment, Erica. Pictures of every booth for me.
Absolutely. I can do that on Saturday. I will be attending on Saturday with Tara and Lindsay. So if you see us, make sure to say hello. We'd love to see you.
That would be so cool. I'm so sorry I'm missing out. I'm so sorry.
You know, you got a pretty good
I'll be in
excuse.
Cancun. No, I'll be warm.
Though.
I hope you guys will be warm. Speaking of warm.
Yeah.
Not trying to like say this is cool, but it's definitely hot. Have you seen the footage from these California fires?
Oh my God, it is absolutely devastating.
Is this in the neighborhood or the area of your extended family?
No, this is a little bit north of where they are, but just the fact that it took out so many acres, it did make us a little nervous. I'm like, how far could this travel?
Well, have you seen the videos of these absolutely badass rock star pilots, these heroes flying solo to the ground and dropping all this fire retardant and helicopters going into pools, picking up water, dumping the water? Have you seen these videos?
I have seen those videos.
These pilots are rock stars. They're heroes. They are
absolutely.
That's one of the only like cool things of this is to see the videos of these absolute amazing firefighters and pilots flying solo so dangerously low, and sometimes like pull up. Oh my God, don't crash. And
they know what they're doing though, and they are doing some truly heroic work.
They're amazing, and we have friends out there, so we just want to shout out to our friends. You know, I'm thinking of Abby, who I do think Abby moved, but I'm also thinking about Tony, who drives the bus out there and has his own LA Roadrunners running club. Like, I'm thinking of everyone out there. I hope by now it's better. And kudos to all those firefighters and those rock stars doing those jobs. It is impressive to see what these pilots are doing. And the algorithm is just feeding me all this firefighter stuff. I had to say it.
Right.
Also feel like we did a crappy job during the hurricanes, really talking about that and saying like how cool some people were being rock stars and heroes. And maybe that's not the direction we go sometimes, but I put it in the notes. What a badass pilots out there. So I was thinking
And
about
there are
it because I was on a
too
plane.
many
I was like,
natural disasters. Like they need to cool it.
insane. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know what to do. I'm not, and I'm
Mm.
not going to get involved in those politics, but be prepared, I guess. Just the best thing to say. There's the funny Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok reels you'll see of someone, shoveling their driveways or cleaning off their cars of snow, and it's like, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have tornadoes, we don't have earthquakes or whatever,
True.
like I'll deal with the snowstorm.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we got right now. We got a lot of snow, Erica. Too bad you're not a skier like me, but what do you got going on this weekend? Anything fun? Any running plans?
Yeah, well, actually, of course I'm running. I'm always running. That's just a given. But I'm going into Boston for a concert. I rarely do that, but so not sure if you guys have checked them out yet, but if you haven't, go listen to the Magic City Hippies. They are fantastic. They are a total vibe, and I'm going to see them. This is going to be my third time seeing them, I think. They just dropped a new album and they're great. So
You've mentioned them before then, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
very
actually
cool.
like when I saw them in Boston last year, they were playing at the Palladium right by BC. But I was in the front row because very small venue.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead singer comes out into the crowd and I got a selfie with him. I was like, what's up?
Yeah,
So,
I remember this now. Yes. So you have.
So
That's the
that's
same
the
story I'm
band. I
thinking
saw
of.
them in. Yep, that was like a winter show. I saw them that following summer, and then I get to see them this year too. They're going to be at the House of Blues. $25
That's
a
awesome.
ticket, you guys. Come down. We'll have fun.
Yeah, go check it out. House of Blues.
Saturday night,
Saturday night?
Saturday
I'm jealous.
night.
I will be packing Saturday night to go skiing on Sunday.
Where are you going?
Well, we go same place we always go, Ragged Mountain. We got a season pass there. Use it up. But Adeline,
I
and I'll
thought you
be
were
there on
going to do like
Sunday.
a J Peak excursion or something. Don't you and Karen usually go out somewhere and do a cool
J
trip?
Peak, Sugarloaf. Adeline will come with me to J Peak. Yeah, those are coming up. Those are coming up. So
nice. Excellent.
November, not November. Jeez, November. Eric, what are you talking about?
I gotta wait until November, but
March is going to be a heavy skiing month for me because Adeline has a ton of cheer and dance these next couple of weeks, and then we go to Cancun for the wedding. When we're back, like 6 solid weeks of skiing until like the first or second weekend of April.
Oh wow!
Because we've kind of had. Adeline and I have had a slow start. I've been at the mountain a lot with the boys, getting them reps, getting them as many as they can. They're loving it. Adeline's had a slow start, so we're going to go heavy in March. Too bad I can't take her out of school for a couple of days. She's missed too many for nationals and globals coming up. So that's
she's got her priorities, right? So you'll just have to
be skiing.
Have to
Priority
deal.
number 1, skiing. Come on, it's wintertime. But she loves it all. She's busy and that's great. And she's kicking butt. She has a solo and dance. I watched her the other day at their practice. It was like a scrimmage, but it was like a real practice scrimmage. Show up, dress up. It's at a different place at a venue. All the parents get to go for free. She crushed it. She's looking good. She's strong. She got some definition too. She's been working out. Girl is crushing it.
Your kid is gonna be a star. I'm telling you. She's just so good at that shit.
Or she could just ski full time and go to the Olympics.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You got to fight with your wife on that one.
She's loving it. She's loving it. I love that she's doing so much. So, and the boys will be doing the same. But that's it. Have a great weekend. Guys, on Monday, check out the next track of the Ali G show. I'm so proud of her. She's crushing it. 4 straight tracks in 4 straight weeks. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Shoot me those emails if you want to be in one of those Boston episodes soon. You got it over the weekend to do it. Erica, take us home.
I hope everybody else has a wonderful weekend too. Thank you for listening. You know we love you.
Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
It's Mary Morgan, even though Ben always wanted to call me Mary.
Mary, like
Morgan.
Merry Christmas.
It is Mary like Merry Christmas, but it's Mary Morgan's all my first name. Mary Morgan.
I think you just threw him off. He's like, what?
Mary Morgan. I said it right?
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right. All right, cool. All right, here we go.
Y'all have gotten it right. It was the TLDR clip that I'm like, Ben, my name is Mary Morgan.
Way to go, Ben. We can give him crap on it because
Ben's the best.
he's
Ben's
been
the
on.
I listened to his podcast and he was so sweet, like about my family too. I was like, oh, you're so sweet. He's awesome.
All right.
The feeling is mutual. We loved him too.
He was amazing.
Ben was awesome. All right, here we go. I'm going to read this, and then we're going to wing it. This is fun. Thank you, Mary. Here we go.
Mary Morgan.
Mary Morgan. Oh,
Come on, dude.
I get it. Your full name is Mary Morgan. Your first name is Mary Morgan.
Yep.
What would you do without me?
Wait, really?
Is your mind blown? Did I just blow your mind?
I think you did.
That's what I was trying to say.
So wait, are you messing with me?
No. That's what I was trying to tell you.
So do you want me to call you Mary Morgan?
Holotik is my last name. Holotik's my last name. Mary
What do you
Morgan.
What do you want me to call you?
Mary Morgan.
Okay, but in the middle of the podcast, like if I'm like, so Mary, do I have to be like, so Mary Morgan? Tell me this.
Can you call her Mary Morgan?
That's incredible.
You really did throw him off.
I'm sorry.
That's
is the blooper.
incredible.
This is the
All right.
Like, where do I
wow.
go from here? He'll pivot. He'll be fine.
I'm gonna call you Mary like probably a
Call
lot.
me
I'm sorry.
That's easier. Or Momo or Mary Mo.
That's
Double
our
M.
icebreaker, Erica. Erica, that's our icebreaker. You ready? Here we go.